Hey everyone, my name is Mary Despe de Echemendia, and I am an ICF certified coach and also the host of the Move Up Mindset Career Community here on YouTube as well as Teachable. So today we are going to talk about a very popular question that comes to me at least 2 to 3 times a week, but I think it really speaks to the state of mind that a lot of job seekers and professionals have right now in this market. And the question is, how can I take all the skills, experiences, knowledge that I've developed over the years in my 9 to 5 job and parlay that into a freelance or a side hustle business for myself? I think it's a great question because I find that a lot of people are really reacting to, the economy and the job market that's out there right now. It's not as stable or predictable as we would like to see. And that really has a lot of people reflecting on their next move and what they want, not just personally, but also financially and professionally. So, in the past, a lot of people have tried to solidify that stability with landing a new full time job at another company. In this job market, that may not be the best option for people, either because they've been laid off or because people are not wanting to look for a job. They want to stay put in the jobs that they have. However, they are pretty interested to discover new ways to earn income. So they're looking at new revenue streams and how they can build that. So, freelancing or doing a side hustle is a great way to do it. So, today we are going to talk about 2 questions that you really need to get into and have clear before you get started. So, before we jump into the video today, please subscribe to our channel here. We support experienced professionals who feel unseen and undervalued in the workplace. We want to provide support so that they attract, land, and thrive in the opportunities that they deserve. Okay, so if you've ever thought, I have all this experience, I should be doing something on my own for myself with all of this expertise that I bring to the table, you're in the right place. Okay, but before you start thinking of what your logo is or building out your website for your new business, or even just thinking about all the rates that you're going to charge, there are 2 questions that you've got to get really crystal clear before you get started. And they're really important because they will shape how you show up with your customers and how they see your value. So the first question is, what's my real expertise? So if you can answer this question, you're really getting to the heart of knowing what you're actually offering to customers. So it's really important. The thing is, if you've been working for a number of years, 10, 15 plus years, chances are you're probably really good at a lot of things. And that's awesome. But I will say it can be harder to explain your freelance or side hustle business to a customer in a way that really sticks with them. So let me give you an example. About a couple of years back, I had worked with a client. He had a very successful career in like digital transformation and system implementations. And while he did have a number of skills that he utilized on a day to day basis, when I asked him the question, what is the expertise that you're sharing? And he proceeded to give me a list of like 9 different things. And I was like, oh, wow. Beyond his business analysis work, his data analytics expertise that he had, his strategy work, he also was very skilled in social media, email campaign management, operations, and even team leadership. Like, so a little bit of leadership coaching. And he listed all of these things on like a menu of what he planned to offer people. And while I don't doubt that he's very proficient and very skilled in all of these areas, for me as a consumer, it was a bit confusing because, one, I became overwhelmed at looking at the full list. And then I also wondered, oh, okay, so which problem do I have? Like, which one will solve it? When you come across as too broad, it can confuse people. It's really important to hone in on being focused. focus on what the expertise is that you plan to offer people. So your job really is to find what the through line is here. And by through line, I mean the thread that ties all of these skills, experience, perspective, wisdom together. And there's some questions that you can consider if you're trying to figure out what is that expertise. So, a question that you might want to reflect upon is, what do people come to me for to solve? Like, do I have a reputation for being really skilled or really helpful in this particular area because of what I know and what I've performed in? Also, it doesn't have to be about core skills, like hard actual skills, technical skills. It doesn't even have to be like that. Perhaps you have a really in depth connection to a particular audience or an industry or even a community. All of these factor in to what your expertise can be. So once you start getting these ideas down and you're really in the flow, try putting it into a sentence. Okay. So I want to share a framework that can help you figure out really quickly what that expertise is and be able to communicate it in a way that is clear to others. The framework is, I help this type of client achieve this kind of result through this kind of experience or service that you're providing. Okay. So this one sentence really forces clarity. It helps you move from that idea of, I do a little bit of everything, to this is the value that I'll bring to you. I'll put what I use for my business into this framework. I help experienced professionals age 40 plus who feel unseen and undervalued in the workplace attract, land, and thrive in opportunities that they deserve. So, with this, you see that I satisfied the first two parts of the framework. I talked about the type of client that I want to help. And you see that it is a bit demographic in terms of who I'm targeting, like experienced professionals, age 40 plus, but it's also speaking to other attributes that I know are really imperative for the communities that I serve and the people that I really want to support. Now, the second part of the framework is achieving a specific result, providing support so that they can attract, land, and thrive in the opportunities that they deserve. What I didn't provide is the final part of the framework. And this is the part where we're talking about the how. How am I going to help this community reach this particular result? It's the tangible example of what the services I offer will be. I can tack on one-on-one and group coaching along with online courses and events. So if we connect all of these things together, it goes, I help experienced professionals age 40 and older who feel unseen and undervalued in the workplace attract, land, and thrive in the opportunities they deserve through one on one and group coaching, online courses, and events. And that's the framework. And now for the second question. What problem am I solving? Now, this question really speaks to the business need. People, don't ever really buy based off of experience alone. They buy oftentimes because they trust the person who is there to help them. So, while it is true that experience builds trust and showing that you really understand their pain points gives you the relevance and that connection with the customer. So, in summary, start here. Think about these two questions. What am I really offering? And what problem am I solving? When you can answer those things clearly, everything else, your confidence, your message, your pricing, it gets easier. You've already done the hard work in learning your craft over the years. This is about taking that experience and turning it into something focused, trusted, and fully yours. If this resonated with you, hit like and please subscribe and drop a comment sharing what you might offer if you finally put your expertise out there. I'd love to hear it. And maybe feature you in as an example in a future video.